Hi, I'm Tom. Today we'll be taking a look at the Dream Junction. In case you haven't seen any of my videos before, basically I placed an order with a Printify print provider for a black and a white Bella Canvas 3001 t-shirt containing my test print design. Once I receive the shirt, I then review the service and print quality. I'll be discussing the processing, shipping and pricing first, so if you want to jump right into the print quality, skip to the time shown on screen. First, let's talk about the processing and shipping times. I placed my order with the Dream Junction on the 8th of February. My order was then shipped out on the 10th of February, so just 3 days processing time, which is pretty good. I live in the UK, so my shipping times will always be longer, especially since the Dream Junction are a US-based printer. However, I was impressed with the delivery speed. It took just 7 days for my order to reach me. Regarding the packaging, the shirts just came in a plastic bag, nothing fancy. None of the labels stated Printify or the Dream Junction. Instead, it displayed my company name. Moving on to the pricing, each shirt cost me $8.60, with UK shipping coming to $14. If I was based in the US, my shipping costs would have been $6. For profit margins, if we were to charge $24 for a shirt to a customer in the US with free shipping, using Dream Junction as the print provider, you would be looking at around $11 profit. This is not taking into account any marketplace fees, sales tax or anything like that. Moving on to the shirts, the first thing I noticed is that the black shirt isn't actually the Bella Canvas 3001 like I ordered. Instead, it's a next level shirt, so not a great start. But to be fair, this is a more expensive shirt coming in at just over $11 with the Dream Junction. So at least they haven't sent a cheaper or lower quality shirt. But this is a men's fit shirt, with the sleeve fitting a little different and the shirt length being shorter. I'm not sure if this was a mistake, or do they substitute brands when they run out of stock. I'm not sure how I feel about this. On one hand, if an item is out of stock and substituting reduces any delays to the order, then I can understand why they do this. But on the other hand, it is a different shirt. I suppose it would only be an issue if the customer was expecting a Bella Canvas t-shirt and then received this. Quality-wise, the shirts are comparable, with the next level being softer surprisingly. Now let's take a look at the actual print quality, starting with the white shirt. Looking at the white print, this has printed overall pretty good, but I can see that a small chunk is missing. I think a bit of loose fabric must have been there when the image was printed. Another thing I noticed is that the print is overall pretty dark. While everything is still visible, the image looks like it has a blue-grey cast over it. This is not a massive issue though. Moving on to the dark print, this suffers the same issue. In fact, the whole print suffers the same issue. It's just printed pretty dark. While you can generally still make the image out, some of the detail has gone. Look at the statue's face. The shadows around its face are barely visible. If the customer was to receive this print, then I'm not sure that they would be able to tell that the shirt was printed dark. It isn't that dramatic. But because I have the original print file and the same design printed by other companies, I can see the difference. Another issue I can see, and I'm not 100% sure if the camera will pick this up, is that there's lines running down the image, almost like the printer was running out of ink. It's subtle, but it's there. Looking at the colours, everything does look vibrant, but everything does have that slightly grey-blue cast, making everything look a little darker than it should be. One thing that I noticed regarding the colours is that the blacks are really black. This is making me think that they have their printers optimised for just simple designs, simple text-based designs or simple illustrations. Looking at the different shades of white now, and this really shows that the Dream Junction print process has made everything dark. The differences between each off-white is very dramatic, when in reality they are just slight variations of white. Now taking a look at the alignment icons, everything has printed well, everything is super sharp, even right down to the smallest text and thinnest lines. This is definitely one of the sharpest prints I've seen, no blurriness at all. Okay, moving on to the black shirt. Overall this has printed well and doesn't have the dark cast that the white shirt has. Looking at the white shirt first, it is a very patchy print, but I've come to expect this with direct garment printing. However, I can see that the patchiness is in lines up and down the photo, similar to the issue on the white shirt. Looking at this from a short distance away, the print looks fine. In fact, if we look at the white text, this looks great. The white is really crisp and bright and makes the text stand out. I'm just confused at how the text looks great, but the white photos look a little rough. So looking at the dark photo now, while this does look slightly darker than the actual photo, I do actually like how this is printed. The details of the photo are still visible, with the blacks being so deep, it makes the statue really pop. I'm actually very happy with how this photo has turned out. Moving on to the colour, everything looks nice and vibrant, but if we take a look at the balloon photo, this looks patchy. We can see the white undercoat. This is the same if we look at the gradient strip, but this is only visible close up. From a short distance you can't see this. Looking at the off-whites, the difference between the colours here is much more subtle than what they look like on the white shirt. Generally, they all look white. None of them look any better than just using white. In fact, I think the F2 white looks slightly worse than the others. Looking at the alignment section, again, everything is very sharp. All the text is printed and all the lines have too. Very happy with this. Another good thing I've noticed with this print is that there's no white borders to anything. Sometimes with direct garment printing, on the dark fabrics, the prints sometimes have a little white border if things aren't lined up properly. However, this is not present here. Overall, I do prefer how the print has turned out on the black shirt. It looks pretty good. It's just how the white photo looks that lets this print down. The print on the white shirt is not bad by any means. I can just see that it's clearly darker than it should be, and everything has a blue tint to it. Again, from a short distance, the print overall looks good. So now taking a look at how the prints look and feel. On the white shirt, the print is matte and feels like it's part of the fabric, but this is pretty normal for direct to garment. Looking at the black shirt, the print definitely has a feel to it, but it feels a lot less prominent than other prints I've seen. The print on the black shirt is also matte. Sometimes prints on dark fabrics have a little shine to them. That's not the case here. Personally, I prefer the prints being matte, as it makes the print look part of the fabric instead of just sitting on top. Overall, these prints are good. I did find a few small issues, but they aren't a deal breaker. Both shirts have some good qualities and a few small issues. I do think that if you have simple designs, for example just text-based designs with maybe some simple graphics, then the Dream Junction would work well for you. It's when we look at the photos, they just don't seem to have printed that amazing, with the exception of the dark photo on the black shirt. I do personally use the Dream Junction as a backup for when items with my main print supplier are out of stock, and seeing their test print today hasn't put me off. I already knew they had a good print quality, and I have never received any complaints from customers. But saying that, they did send me the wrong shirt, that shirt being a men's fit shirt. Now, that does have me a little concerned, as most of my customers are female. Saying all this, my opinion as far as Printify goes is that Monster Digital still offer a slightly better print quality. Monster Digital are who I use as my main printer, with the Dream Junction being the backup. However, being honest, the more I look at this print overall, the more I like it. In fact, I am starting to prefer how this print looks over Monster Digital's. I'll have to do more print tests with my actual designs before I make any decisions. Since I've now reviewed 3 Printify print providers, I can start ranking them in order of best to worst. Now there's nothing scientific to these rankings, it's just my personal opinion, and this will most likely change over time. Out of the printers I have reviewed, I still rank Monster Digital as number 1. However, the wash test has me slightly concerned. This is closely followed by the Dream Junction, coming in at number 2, and then this leaves Swift POD at number 3. In my next video, I will be taking a look at Fyby, or FYBY, however you pronounce it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on that. Moving on to the wash test, I have now washed both shirts on a cold wash and air dried, just as Printify recommends. The black shirt has come out looking exactly as it went in, which is great. However, the white shirt has faded slightly. This is only slightly, and doesn't have me concerned yet. Of course, this is only one wash. I'll continue washing these shirts, and they will be included in a wash update video in the future. Thank you for watching, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and see you in the next video.